What's up YouTube and welcome to an all-time favorite archetype here. We're playing TEEMO EZREAL hexcore foundry today. Now this deck has existed for quite a while now and it hasn't changed a ridiculous amount. It always falls in and out of the metas and it's very strong when metas become too greedy. And now that Targon got a huge buff and a lot of people are playing some rather slow control decks, Darkness as well, this might make a splash back into the scene, who knows? I gotta be honest with you, it's probably not the best choice for climbing, but it can hold its ground in the current meta, and it is incredibly fun to play and makes for some very exciting games. Okay, I'll explain the core of the deck first so you have some idea of what it does if you're not familiar with it yet. We want to stall the early game as much as possible while shuffling Puffcaps into our opponent's deck and simultaneously leveling Ezreal through the stalling, so through freezing and debuffing our opponents and removing their units and so on. Eventually we try to close out the game either through Puffcaps or a leveled Ezreal on board, just machine gunning down our opponent, or ideally of course a combination of both. To ensure we never run out of steam, the key card in this deck is Hexcore Foundry. This card allows us to play an insane amount of very cheap spells, very cheap cards, so that even though we draw 2 or 3 or even 4 cards a turn, we never overdraw. We can still make use out of all of them once we have 7, 8, 9 mana available to us in the mid game. On the flip side, the Hexcore Foundry also makes our opponent overdraw a lot of cards, especially if they play control decks, because they can usually only play 1 or 2, maximum 3 cards per turn. They cannot keep up with all of the cards that we are forcing them to take from their deck. This also makes them draw more and more Puffcaps. And even if they don't have Puffcaps in their deck yet, it reduces or rather, it increases the density of our opponent's deck. It reduces the total number of cards in their deck, which means that once they drew through half of their deck, the Puffcaps we planned are much more dangerous because they have a much higher likelihood of being drawn. You'll get a perfect illustration of that concept later on in one of the gameplay videos, but I don't want to spoil it too much. Overall, I think the idea here is quite clear. So early game, our only one drop is TEEMO, and for obvious reasons, he levels fairly often in this list, because peddlers are easy to protect on this, and we play tons of cheap spells, so they will be very productive in distributing Puffcaps and making TEEMO level up eventually. The rest is either draw cards, Sentry and Investigator and so on. They either make us draw to find foundries more consistently and get that draw cycle going, or they also make our opponent draw. Aloof Travelers is one of the additions here, which I'm not quite sure about yet. Generally speaking, making both players draw is good, but it comes at a huge tempo loss because they're so understated. And we don't really care about them discarding their biggest card because they just draw a ton of cards anyway. They'll never be able to play all of their big cards. That's the same reason we don't really tech in insider knowledge, by the way. It just comes at too much of a tempo loss, and we don't really want to play it in the early game to find Hexcore Foundry, just because we will fall so far behind on the board. Yeah, and the rest, Icevale Archer pretty cracked in this, levels up Ezreal, stalls the board, trades very well. That's mostly it for units. The spells are a great combination of frostbites in Harsh Winds, Flash Freeze, Harsh Winds of course recently buffed, Three Sisters and Brittle Steels. We have unit protection in Elixir of Iron, Three Sisters, Fear of the North as well, Troll Chant, very important, and we have some removal or optional burn in cards like Thermo Beam and Mystic Shot. Piltover Tellstone is also a very flexible tool here. Landmark removal can also be a progress day if we do get our landmark removed, or if we don't find it in time. But we also have plenty of tech options here. I'm not quite sure what the optimal version for this meta would look like. I started playing this list after running into Boki playing this, who was building a very different version of mine though. He was playing 2 Ballistic Bots, 2 Starlit Seers, 2 or 3 Station Archivists, a lot less of these draw cards, like no Everosen Sentries, no Veteran Investigators. So there's definitely some wiggle room on how to build this. I personally think I like this version more, but who knows, maybe cards like Starlit Seer are actually great tech choices for the meta to keep up in stats and in the mid game, especially against mid-rangey decks. Either way, I hope this explanation helped. I do have a lot of really good gameplay examples here from the footage of my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/FreshLobsterCCG that I want to share with you. So if you need some inspiration on how this deck can be played, go check it out and enjoy.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
What is TF Zoe. And people are really getting wild with their brews these days. Not quite sure what to expect. Like, I'm not sure if this is gonna be a tempo or a turbo TF lip or a control celestial deck. We shall find out. Control celestial deck is like super hard winning for us. Monkey, maybe. Do I give stock investment advice for 5k points? I would, but I'm not a very experienced trader. But I can give my best shot. Like, I know a bit about markets and how they work.
Can see the Demacian border from here.
But mostly, like, definitely not expert knowledge.
For the homestead.
Not monkey? Probably not monkey. No, I hope they didn't find a meteor here. We run the frostbite card that summons a Rhinefang pack. I don't even remember that card. I'll have a look at it later.
My spirit shines.
Ready the torches.
This feels so much like a comet. I'm scared.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Okay.
The mountain speaks to those
Actually fine.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
This might be an invoke deck after all. Evil snake. It's like the biggest predator of TEEMOs that Runeterra knows. Could Aftershock the guy? Could still keep this as a potential progress day for later. Like, if our opponent eventually finds a comet, we'll need progress day, right? I mean, we'll find out. They can play comet this turn due to the discount. Okay. In that case, we can probably just beam this guy. What's Bilge for? Not sure yet. We'll find out eventually. The tempo invoke deck. Beams. I mean, they play Mountain Scryer. Maybe they didn't splash anything besides TF. Maybe Make It Rain. Kinda like investing one Troll Chant here. Just because we kinda need blockers on the board. Don't really need draw right now. Out of 8. Oh, the heart counter! Shuffling doggos into the deck. Wait, is this a Messenger Turbo Flip TF deck? What are we witnessing here? Is this madness? Is this genius?
Time for a true display of skill.
Is this a Starbone deck? I'm so confused. Offensive Brittle still looks kinda good. Please no Hush, but if it's a tempo deck, they probably don't play Hush. Maybe they play, maybe they main deck things like pick a card. That's a possibility. Or like TF Protection? Sunblast Vigor? Apparently not. What a gangster.
The mountain knows me. I am the traveler.
I am the Traveler.
Not and ready.
Ezreal close to flipping. So we have a very good hand for stalling for ages here.
My spirit shines.
So at this point I think we want to draw with this.
Look out for reavers. Stay back.
Check me out. Obstacle, me gauntlet.
How about taking 0 damage this turn? It is a Starbone deck! Okay, I respect it. Still chillin'. Still chillin', still out of TF red card range. Can let this go through.
Light the signal fires.
Didn't want to play Investigator yet in case of another meteor shower. Or something similar. We could have protected with Trollchant Elixir. Ooh, we have a machine gun hand. We could shoot this with 2 Mystic Shots though to clear the way for Ezreal to swing. Why did you shave? You had a cool haircut? Mostly hair loss, mostly because... partially because I just wanted to try something new. But I really like the short hair.
Mushrooms could talk.
What you got there? Oh, Cosmic Rays is kind of a blowout, right? Supernova. Now it's time to entomb my own Ezreal, right? Like, we just need to survive one more turn and there's pretty much no way our opponent kills us here. Only question is if I also yeet a Mystic Shot somewhere, but I don't think it's necessary right now. So we can try to remove this in the meantime.
Proportion through battle.
Would a mushroom help?
Could go for something like Flash Freeze to keep all the cheap stuff. The Ezreal turn. Double Mystic Shot. What about entombing this so that Ezreal has a free way? Flounder the Almighty sees the play as well. Try this. Could Troll Chant here. But I think I want to keep all of these cheap targeted spells for when Ezreal pops back out.
Close your eyes and drift away.
0 mana pops. That's a thermal beam. I'm just thinking about Mystic Shotting Nexus first. I keep the Mystic Shot for Ezreal. What a deck, yeah. Our opponent's next level creative. Gotta give him props for this one. Okay, at this point I'm not sure if we're surviving the next attack, but also if our opponent plays the Pop Army, they draw into caps eventually. Aww. That's what they were looking for. Clear the way, please.
Firing.
TF. TF doesn't deal with this. As long as Ezreal hits, we're probably winning, right? Oh, you mean TF for the level up? Yeah, that's actually a cute idea. Oh, how much do we have? That's 9. 9, 13, 14. We need a bit of help from Puffcaps. And we need Ezreal to survive.
Sure.
Stand aside. An expert is at work.
Aloof makes a mill too. Doesn't look like they have something like Meteor Shower. Hope for the best.
Look, a thing. Elf, that's not ours.
I mean, okay, I did ask for the best, and we got the best, but... not exactly what we were looking for here. We are one of. We're literally one of. Oh, and the last 3 draws were units. Oh, it pains me. It hurts.
I know you're thinking and stuff, but could you maybe speed things up a little?
I don't even think we can survive here. Like, our opponent can just override their units. I think opponent deserves a win. Yeah, for sure. I'll still, like, I'll fight till the end, but...
They grow up so
Damn, this emote is perfect here.
firing.
Success is planting your mushrooms. Reporting in. Can't spoil the surprise.
So close! And then we sent those fates. We were 1 damage off lethal. Oh, really good game though. GG. Respect to our opponent for that creative deck choice. Maybe with Bandit? Did opponent destroy Foundry? We just never drew it. It's bad when decks you like can't be played because of meta. I mean, I'm also trying to climb with this in Masters, right? Might just not be very realistic of an expectation. As Cannon is doing decent numbers. I hate Ezreal Cannon. I really dislike Cannon's design. Wayfinder, I assume? Or do you build it?
Corruption everywhere.
Okay, this matchup is definitely gonna be a fiesta.
There was a little fella asking for me.
Okay, I was gonna say I'll overdraw one willingly, but this is probably just Mystic Shot.
I've always been a fun guy.
Peddler is gonna carry me so hard if he survives. Having the opponent reach deep. It's not like we can do much about it. The only scary thing is Devourer. That's one way to take care of Naughty. Makes him hit deep, right? So probably Elixir and Troll Chant. Oh, he's one off deep. Never mind. Third Foundry is actually tempting, but so is Aloof. We already milled one Naut. Flash Freeze isn't horrible neither. Keg W. What? I guess it's none of those. Plan here to just run opponent out of cards. Yes, but they already played Lure, so they can play Nautilus and OTK us basically. Well, not if we have double Harsh Winds, I suppose. For now, it's TEEMO into open attack. Next turn, probably Aloof and Foundry. I could also open with Aloof. Hope to hit second Nautilus. This basically kills my opponent, right? Like, they need to invest a spell, which means they cannot play Nautilus this round. So it's a pick your poison kind of situation. Aloof kills 2 cards. Yeah, but this shuffles 30 cards into a deck of 6. Whereas if I play Aloof, they play something like Abyssal Eye.
There they go. Ooh, quite a collection.
Not 30. I mean, it shuffles. Ah, you guess what I was trying to say. Okay. Now the question is whether or not I want to keep... Also, this guy is starting to become a problem here. Now he adds more units to the deck. Barely, because he barely tossed. We made them draw everything, right? So our opponent barely tossed sea monsters. We just need to survive one more attack. I guess they can also reshuffle champions. But either do something like Foundry, Harsh... I'd like to keep double Harsh Winds, Brittle Steel open. Maybe it's just pass here. And just Archer for 1 mana. It's also a blocker. Makes me overdraw 1 less. I flip Maokai next turn, we lose. Depends. Because we can shuffle... Like, they only have, what, 3 cards left in deck, and we can shuffle 1,000,000 caps. Worst case is a draw. That's not true. Look at the Puffcap density here. Our opponent only has 2 caps left in deck, and we have a Peddler on the board. It's basically like... For every spell, it's 3 damage to the Nexus.
My life forever, Rosa.
Let him draw. We don't want to go into atrocity range though, do we? We go Harsh Winds, 3 Sisters, Flash Freeze. Wait, we want this to be in Brittle Steel range though. Could also block Maokai, but then this is also an Undergrowth range. Wait for him to level Maokai to shuffle TEEMO. I'm not sure if that's the play.
I've always been a fun guy.
It's creative. But like they can't really stop Puffcaps from killing them unless they toss their whole deck. I think it is Shuffle Mushroom Cloud here. Mao has to die. He doesn't obliterate the deck anymore, Chad. We have 4 non-champion cards. Let him draw. If we let him draw, we're in Atro range. Shuffle TEEMO, no, he just missed it. It's not about shuffling TEEMO, it's about adding 8 Puffcaps to their deck. Block the frozen. Yeah, sure, but like that cannot matter anymore. Like the game ends before they attack again. But yeah, technically you're right. Should block a frozen unit. Right now it's still lethal. Didn't you just... Oh no, it still moves to top of deck, okay. Told you this is a fun matchup, chat. Yeah, I was wondering about cutting 1-3 Sisters for another flash freeze. Nah, I can't really do that. It's probably trolling. Remember that 4-hour best of 6 in the Targon meta? Yes, the first year EU Masters. I mean, I was casting it. Was I playing in it? Maybe it was the second EU Masters. I don't quite remember. Oh, this is another matchup that's going to be really fun. They have Gohard. They can't shuffle into their deck. Pack Your Bags is actually really scary. I think Beam is a keep. And this card would be good if we already had Foundry. Okay, they never have Go Hard on 1, right?
Nothing like the great outdoors. Swiftly.
Sometimes rewarded. Targon versus Targon was always fun to watch. It was like the unit would just start growing and growing. They'd go more and more vertical. Because you just stack Cosmic Inspiration and whoever had like the Cosmic Inspiration diff would eventually just win.
Never play fair.
Can't really save TEEMO here. It's way too inefficient. Probably just bop her. Could be a glimpse. But the good news is we know our opponent didn't draw Go Hard yet. You miss reveals? Yes. But they weren't super spectacular. Okay. They're burning more mana than us. And they didn't send Raven Bloom yet. We also gotta find our landmark though.
This is a chance for me to leave my mark.
Iffy. I can't really protect Peddler this turn.
There was a little fella asking for me.
Against like Death's Hand Flock or Ping something. Lobster with a full HD stream? Yeah, 1080p 60 FPS, how you like that? Times have changed. Pay mana for auto-equip? No.
I shall need my tools.
You shall need your tools. Choose your fighter. 3/4 broken champion from League of Legends. Or 3 mana 3/3 humble local backyard homegrown stuff dealer. I missed something as master of the German Wi-Fi. I live in Poland right now. Pretty far off of German Wi-Fi.
Nothing escapes my watch.
I don't know about playing this. It could also keep Three Sisters mana open because of exactly that kind of stuff. Like keep Fury of the North mana open basically. It's probably a good Mystic shot. Even if it's just push 2 damage here. I call for Britting, stealing the cat and waiting for potential removal instead of therming for 5. Had a feeling we would top deck Mystic. I was gonna say yes until you said I had a feeling we would top deck Mystic. We do probabilities here. We don't go by feeling of top decking certain cards. But yes, there's a case to be made. It's a consideration, but there are no real thermo beam targets in this matchup. And we also, like, early mana also doesn't matter. Okay, wait. They have 2 playable spells and don't use either of them. What can that be? Ravenous Flock is likely. Like, Vile Feast would have been used, Gohard would have been used. Can't be Glimpse. Scorched Earth, no mana. Am I tripping? Unspeakable Horror? Can only be like Unspeakable Horror or Flock, right? Was revealed today. Looked an awful lot like Master Yi support. Okay. I honestly think the smart thing to do is give this the Three Sisters buff. Like, it's tempting to keep Peddler alive, but he's effectively at 2 HP. Very easy to kill, whereas this is at least gonna force a disintegrate, right? Peddler also did a lot of work already. Brommy mode, don't have it equipped. I'll give you this one instead. Oh, we're milling the card. Interesting. I think that's fine. Like, they're not getting catalog value. Yes, that is counting down, but they are also counting down towards puffcaps, and we are counting down to better draws. Does the sound? That's a good question. I should probably have a look at the music and change it real quick. Give me a sec. Leveled Captain TEEMO. We're playing now. We have mana for double Fury. Let's do it. What could possibly go wrong here? TEEMO into 12 mana and the deck that is entirely packed with removal. Oh, they're drawing. They're panicking. In this case, I think I'll play Veteran first.
Stand aside. An expert in this work.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk.
I'll have what he's having.
I'd like to take these out before Tybok hits the board.
Swiftly.
I really just don't want the Peddler to be damaged, so I brittle whatever blocks Peddler, and I'm happy about just getting a draw here. So it's probably Three Sisters Fury on TEEMO. And brittle here. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's just a brittle.
I've always been a fun guy.
Entombed my own TEEMO, KW. Not a play. So they're doubling either Whispered Words or Unspeakable Horror or Scorched Earth. Woo! Okay, do we take the gamble? 33% of them getting Scorched? Fuck it, let's go. There's already a good chance that they're holding a second one, right? These cards have to be something, and they've been very reluctant to play them so far.
Should have entombed Kek.
Should have entombed just for the fans, you're right. Just for the street cred, I should have entombed.
A chill in the air.
What's the Nightfall card? Okay, it's not a Scorched. It's not a Scorched. Huge. Honestly, what if we entomb the dipshit now? Nah, entomb Doombeast makes more sense. Okay, there's a couple of lines of play here. We could Fury this guy so that he's healthy at the start of next turn. Entomb our own Peddler. Stop Strain. Entomb Doombeast. I don't really like entombing the own Peddler. Peddler is quite smart. Not really, because then we won't get him next turn. No, it's actually fine. He does shuffle caps for this one. The issue is they'll still double the go hard, right? Denying healing. Yeah, but the idea behind entombing Doombeast is that we set up an open attack. And if we get it through with Fury of the North, it's it might be more damage than denying the 2 healing here. Definitely a risk, because if they have another disintegrate, it might also backfire. You get the idea. Kansas Flock option. That is true, but they Scorched Earth TEEMO early on, right? So that would have to be a recently drawn Flock, which is unlikely. No, I want to entomb this landmark. What do we do? How good is swinging here? Fury of the North with on whatever unit goes through.
My arrow won't miss.
It's gonna be this guy. And we're sacrificing the Peddler, but the Peddler won't get much done anymore anyway, because we're out of draw, out of steam. Ooh, could just let this go. We have Fury to trade into this. Don't think that's very strong. How good is just let this go? Not that great. We know our opponent has another go hard. If they disintegrate, they don't have go hard targets anymore except for their own units.
There they go.
And we draw a card. It's also an upside. Oh, that actually sucks, like getting the kill here. And now we also need to worry about these coming in. I mean, we have freezes. Kinda need drawn Ezreal. Didn't go hard their own unit? Come on. I think that was a miss.
Would a mushroom help?
Mystic Shot Doombeast or Nexus? Probably Doombeast. Could keep Mystic Shot for double Mystic Shot Tybok or for drawing Ezreal. Go phase. If we go phase, we die on their next attack. Most likely. Phase is not good here, chat. If we have absolutely no hand. They seem very starved on units, so this could be a very good play. Your opponent can still heal off of Whale. Runs more main deck heal. Also keep in mind we play Progress Day in this. And we saw 2 Scorched Earths on their end already, so Foundries are probably gonna stick. I don't think we play Ezreal right now. Only a Forest. Like, he just gets removed, right? Beating Culling, that's also a good... Ah, damn it. Okay, now we're talking. If we tank this, we're dead to Unspeakable. Could take the gamble. I think I like playing a longer game though. Just gotta have faith in our top decks. You are very likely to draw a freeze for this in the near future, right? We still have Brittles. Flash Freeze, Harsh Winds. Oh snap. They get 3 Go Hearts. This might be the time to play Ezreal because we're dead next turn. Ezreal into open attack.
Check me out. I thought you'd never ask.
You think you can flock with me, young blood? Should maybe play this right now because our odds are only stuff like Progress Day, right? This might buy us more time, like if they copy Flux instead of Go Hearts. This could actually win us the game. I think that's a huge throw from our opponents.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Do they always copy the same card? Okay, I hope they have 3 Flux in this case. And now we just believe in Puffcap RNG. Maybe a... Yeah, we don't have Mystic Shots left. No, we do have 1 left, I think. Ooh. I guess it's random. RIP. Oh, we're still in this. Still hanging tight. Oh no, they're gonna copy 3 Unspeakables though. We need the ultimate Puffcap high roll. Unfortunate. The right one was a guaranteed flock. Oh, that's a good point. No, wait, it's played last round. It's not that I have seen last round. GG though. That was a good one.